All right, I told you I was going to do it, so I'm going to do it. In this particular video, we're going to take a look at loops in Python. Now, loops are a way to repeat a set of actions a given number of times based on certain conditions, and that's all pretty abstract, but we're going to start simple and, as usual, show you how it's done. So, without getting too complicated, let's take a peek. Okay, so we're going to start with something simple. We'll give ourselves something to loop through. How about a motto? You only live once. YOLO. All right, and this first loop we're going to visit here is called a for loop, which works something along the lines of for each item in a list, which is one thing you can put in there, do a certain action. So a trivial, easy to understand example would be for item in the motto print item. And let's take a look at what happens here. You only live once, YOLO. Easy enough. But let's take a step back and see what just happened. We didn't make a variable called item in any explicit way. And that's one important thing that happens within loops is it'll make something for itself temporarily and make use of it. So a list has set numbers of items or objects, or in this case, strings within it. And so when it looks in the motto, it knows that the standard thing through which to iterate would be each comma separated entity in that list. So it goes through and prints each one in order. Not too terribly complicated. Another thing that you might have noticed if you're typing along with me, but probably didn't because I went quickly in the video, is that there's an automatic indentation that occurs within idle here. So let's try it again let's use thing this time to show you that it doesn't much matter what we use there. And let's tell it, we're going to give it a colon here. Now when I hit enter, what happens is, my cursor winds up 4 spaces deep here. And that's indentation. What that tells the interpreter is that after the colon, all the things that come 4 spaces away from the start line are part of the loop. And if you go back away from it, then that'll no longer be within the loop. Now that becomes more meaningful when you're writing things in an editor and then passing them to the interpreter. The interpreter will automatically indent things. Same is true for idle and really a large number of IDEs or whatever you're using to do this. But that's how loops work in Python. In many other languages, you would see they are delineated by curly braces or something of that nature. It's all using just the white space here, the distance from the start of the line. So 4 spaces is what matters there and not a tab, which can throw you off. We can sort of encounter those problems and talk about them later, but something to be mindful of now. So let's give it a couple things here. So we'll print thing. I'll hit enter. Still has me 4 spaces down. And let's also print len thing. So use that len function for how long each thing is. Okay, I hit enter. I'm 4 spaces down. I give it nothing here. Hit enter again. Now it operates. So U3 only 4, live 4, once 4, YOLO 6, which is the number of characters within each of those strings. So you can see that's a pretty basic way to loop through a list. It performs these actions, print thing and print len thing, one time for each piece of that list. Obviously, this is wildly rudimentary, and there are way more complicated situations that you can get yourself into here, but I wanted to give you just a very basic taste of how loops work in Python. We're going to explore loops for a couple more videos yet, and they are going to be a very prevalent part of what we're up to for a while. So take this, play with it, learn from it, and we'll get more complicated as time goes on. Again, my name is Ed, working from my Bring Back. Really enjoying myself making these videos. Hope you are enjoying yourself as well, and I hope even further that you are picking something up from it. So subscribe, like, share, do what you got to do. Most importantly, keep coming back.